while I was down there was something that happened. I don't even know what to call it. There was something that sounded like an earthquake, something that sounded like people got into a fight.
If Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher thought they could escape the allegations about their ties to Diddy's infamous parties, they might be in for a rude awakening. Ally Carter, one of Diddy's alleged victims, has come forward with explosive claims and receipts that could shake the foundations of Hollywood. According to Ally, what she witnessed at these events paints a shocking picture of secretive activities involving Demi, Ashton, and Diddy. For months now, rumors have swirled about Demi and Ashton's alleged participation in these wild gatherings. But Ally isn't just stirring up gossip. She's sharing her firsthand account of being thrust into the hidden, gritty side of Hollywood at an alarmingly young age. Her story is less like the glitz and glam of a red carpet event and more like the plot of a dark, high-stakes Netflix drama. Ally describes her initial involvement as innocent. A starry-eyed girl expecting a glamorous party, maybe a chance to brush shoulders with celebrities or snap a selfie. But what she says she encountered was an entirely different world, one filled with secrecy, shadows, and rules that seemed to defy reality. This wasn't just a one-time ordeal either. Ally claims she was drawn deeper into this clandestine Hollywood underworld, witnessing shocking behaviors and events orchestrated by some of the entertainment industry's most powerful players. If even a fraction of her allegations are true, they could expose a side of Hollywood few dare to imagine. According to Ally, these weren't your standard industry parties with champagne towers and red carpet photo ops. What she describes is far more sinister, with hidden layers and dark motives lurking beneath the surface. She alleges that these events served as a front for something much more unsettling, activities so jaw-dropping that even seasoned insiders would be left speechless. The most chilling part? Ally claims this all happened in plain sight. While cameras captured the dazzling public facade, an entirely different reality played out behind closed doors. And now, with her revelations, Ally Carter is forcing everyone to question what's really been happening in Hollywood's glitzy world of fame and power.
Touching the seriousness of trafficking yet, guys. Like, the videos that I've made, the videos that I've started to make, this is not even touching. This is the gist of it. Yeah. You don't live in the world you think you do. And
let's dive into Ally Carter's chilling claims, because her story about these Hollywood parties takes things to a whole new level. Forget the glamorous bashes splashed across Instagram. This wasn't about designer outfits or mingling with A-listers. According to Ally, these were hyper-exclusive. VIP-only gatherings where your presence wasn't just about fame or influence. It was about belonging to an elite circle that allegedly turned a blind eye to things taking a very dark turn. Ally says these weren't your typical champagne-popping soirees. Beneath the glitzy facade, there was a secret world filled with questionable activities, and the most powerful attendees weren't just aware of it. They were actively involved. The way Ally tells it, walking through the doors of these parties meant silently agreeing to unwritten rules, which included staying silent no matter how disturbing things got. And according to her, they got very dark, very fast. The vibe at these events, Ally says, was nothing like the carefree energy you'd expect from Hollywood's elite. Instead, the atmosphere was tense, calculated, and anything but celebratory. These weren't parties to let loose or have fun. They were gatherings focused on power plays, exploitation, and behaviors that leaned far more sinister than social. One detail Ally shares is particularly chilling: the so-called all-black events. And no, this wasn't about a sleek dress code or trendy theme. Ally claims these gatherings had a much darker purpose. According to her, the focus wasn't on attendees wearing black. It was on young black kids, allegedly brought in under the guise of providing entertainment. But what actually happened, she says, crossed lines most people wouldn't even think existed. Breaking this down, Ally alleges that these kids weren't just random guests. They were handpicked, and that alone raises serious concerns. What followed, according to her, wasn't about fun or games, but exploitation, manipulation, and outright abuse. The details she shares are gut-wrenching. So shocking, they'd make even the most skeptical observer question everything they thought they knew about Hollywood's dark underbelly. The most disturbing part of Ally's story? She paints a picture of a room full of powerful individuals who weren't just passive witnesses. They were complicit. And among those she claims were involved are none other than Demi and Ashton Kutcher. We'll get into their alleged roles soon, but if Ally's accusations hold any weight, this could shatter the carefully crafted image of
With his
Hollywood's
shipment
elite.
of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies.
Ally Carter is pulling back the curtain on Hollywood's so-called VIP sections, and according to her, they were far from glamorous. Forget bottle service and plush seating. Ally claims these spaces served a far more sinister purpose. She alleges they were designed to cater to high-profile guests, even name-dropping figures like Jay-Z and Naomi Campbell, who she says had private, behind-the-scenes access to young girls in ways that are downright horrifying. The way Ally describes it is chilling. These VIP areas weren't luxurious perks. They were traps. Imagine being young and impressionable, suddenly finding yourself alone with a celebrity you've idolized your whole life. For most, that might sound like a dream come true, but Ally paints a very different picture. She says these encounters were far from accidental. Instead, they were carefully orchestrated to lure girls into vulnerable situations, leaving them feeling powerless and at the mercy of those who held all the influence. The most gut-wrenching part? Ally claims these girls weren't just random attendees. They were handpicked. According to her, they were specifically chosen for their youth and lack of experience, which made them easier to exploit. She describes a well-oiled system designed to take advantage of this imbalance, spinning dreams of glitz and glamour into something far darker and predatory. And if Ally's allegations weren't disturbing enough, there's more. Not long ago, one of Diddy's neighbors reportedly claimed that buses full of young girls were regularly brought to his home for these infamous parties. Ally's story, combined with this allegation, paints a deeply unsettling picture of a system that thrived on secrecy and power imbalances. If even a fraction of these claims proves true, it's not just a scandal. It's a catastrophic indictment of Hollywood's elite circle. The fallout from these revelations could be immense, raising serious questions about who knew what and whether anyone will be held accountable for these alleged horrors.
Yeah, tell them stop bringing all the minors over here late at night. I live right next to him. He do too much. It be like buses, like big buses. You just see all type of pop out. Especially at nighttime, like around 3 o'clock in the morning. It gets wild. I'm his neighbor. When my basketball go over there, I just let it be because I don't want to knock on the door.
Ally Carter isn't just sharing her own story. She's exposing a pattern of manipulation tactics that feel disturbingly familiar. According to her, young people are drawn in by being made to feel special or chosen, showered with attention, promises of big opportunities, or simply the intoxicating thrill of proximity to fame and power. But Ally claims it's all a calculated game, a way to lower their defenses and make them believe that figures like Diddy and his associates truly care for them, when in reality, it's the exact opposite. What makes Ally's account even more unsettling is that she's not alone. She's not the first person to describe these tactics being used at high-profile Hollywood events, and sadly, she likely won't be the last. Time and again, survivors have come forward with eerily similar stories. The allure of glitz, the promises, and then the devastating realization that they were being exploited. The chilling part? Ally's claims suggest this isn't just isolated bad behavior. It's a systemic, well-oiled machine designed to prey on innocence. The echoes between her story and those of others make her allegations all the more damning. It paints a picture of an unspoken rulebook used to lure young, vulnerable people into these situations. And the worst part? The powerful individuals involved seem to count on one thing: the assumption that no one will believe the survivors. Ally's courage in speaking out challenges that narrative, and it forces us to confront just how deep this problem might run.
I'm trying to deal with it. I'm trying to deal with it a lot, because a lot of people don't understand when you say what's going on. It's not just jobs. It's not just it's a lot.
Ally Carter's revelations are taking an even darker turn. She's not just spilling the tea, she's blowing the lid off what she describes as a meticulously orchestrated system at these so-called Hollywood parties. According to her, this wasn't some chaotic scene where anything could happen. No, everything was methodically planned down to the smallest detail to ensure that those inside felt confused, intimidated, and powerless, especially the young and naive. Ally paints a grim picture, describing these events as less like parties and more like traps. She claims that once you stepped inside, it felt as if there was no way out. The entire atmosphere, she says, was designed to overwhelm and disorient, making it nearly impossible for anyone to fully comprehend what was happening, let alone find a way to speak out about it. Imagine being young, surrounded by celebrities and powerful figures, and suddenly realizing you're in a situation entirely out of your control. You're isolated, unsure who to trust, and likely being fed the chilling idea that no one would believe you if you tried to speak up. This calculated manipulation, Ally says, is precisely how these elite gatherings managed to keep their secrets hidden for so long. Guests weren't just attendees. They were effectively prisoners, trapped in an environment engineered to exploit their vulnerabilities while protecting the powerful. Ally describes an atmosphere that was not only intimidating, but paralyzing, suffocating those inside with fear and secrecy. If her claims are true, these weren't just parties that went off the rails. They were carefully designed systems meant to prey on the innocent while shielding those at the top. Fear, shame, and silence were the tools of this sinister operation, ensuring that no one dared to expose what was really happening behind closed doors. Demi Moore and Ashton Kutcher. How do they fit in? This is where things take a startling turn. Demi Moore, a name long associated with Hollywood controversy, is now being dragged into this scandal. While Moore and Diddy might not seem like an obvious pairing, their paths crossed more often than you'd expect. Back in the day, Demi was cementing her status as a leading actress with hits like Ghost, while Diddy was dominating the hip-hop world. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find that they attended exclusive Hollywood events together, made public appearances side by side, and sparked curiosity about their connection. Now, with Ally's allegations coming to light, fans are questioning whether there was more to Demi's relationship with Diddy than met the eye. Adding fuel to the fire is Moore's own troubled history. In a recent Good Morning America interview, she shared a harrowing story from her teenage years. At just 15, Demi says a man came to her house claiming her mother had taken $500 to let him in. In her memoir, Inside Out, she detailed this betrayal and other traumatic moments, including her mother bringing her to bars as a teen to attract male attention. This raw account has led some to speculate that Demi's painful past may have shaped her choices later in life, possibly drawing her into Diddy's controversial circle, where similar power dynamics allegedly played out. Fans are now scrutinizing her connections and questioning whether her early traumas made her more susceptible to the kind of manipulation Ally is describing. A new bombshell. Video evidence. The plot thickens with another revelation. Ally claims that Diddy's neighbor, Busby, has footage of young guests at these infamous parties. The mere suggestion of video evidence tying Hollywood A-listers to such events has sent shockwaves through fans and critics alike. With Demi's name now linked to these allegations, the idea of visual proof has people losing their minds. It's a twist no one saw coming. Demi Moore has faced her share of drama over the years, but these new allegations take things to an entirely different level. If there's any truth to the claims or the existence of footage, the fallout could be catastrophic, not just for Demi, but for everyone implicated in these dark stories.
Tendency, like my addiction to Ashton, and that was probably almost more devastating because it took me seriously away emotionally.
Isn't just about the Hollywood age gap. It's making fans question whether there was something more significant at play in Demi Moore's relationships and her connection to Diddy's crowd. Here's where it gets even juicier. When Demi first started dating Ashton Kutcher, he and Diddy were practically inseparable. The two were often spotted together around Hollywood, partying and living the high life. Diddy even dubbed their crew a rat pack, with Jamie Foxx frequently hanging out with them. But when Ashton became serious with Demi, Diddy seemed to suggest that their romance was affecting their nightlife dynamic. This has led some fans to speculate that Ashton may have inadvertently introduced Demi to a world that was much darker and more chaotic than it appeared. Fast forward to the current situation, and with the new claims from Busby, Demi's connection to Diddy now appears far more complex. It's no longer just a casual friendship. There's the possibility she may have actually attended those infamous controversial parties. If she was involved, it raises serious questions. What might she have witnessed or even participated in at these events? Now that Diddy is facing legal troubles far beyond typical Hollywood scandal, charges related to trafficking, illegal activities, and allegations involving underage guests, the stakes have never been higher. With the trial date looming, if Diddy is found guilty, he could be facing life in prison. But here's the twist. Demi's alleged involvement adds another layer to this already explosive situation. If her name is dragged into Diddy's case, it could lead to one of the biggest scandal Hollywood has ever seen. Diddy's defense team is scrambling to protect him, but if the evidence Busby claims is solid, things aren't looking good for him, or for those connected to him. Busby has even hinted that more high-profile names could be implicated. For Demi, if she's tied to Diddy's inner circle, her career could be in serious jeopardy. This isn't just about Diddy anymore. This scandal touches on the Hollywood elite who either took part in these events or turned a blind eye to them. Demi's life has already been riddled with challenges. She grew up in an environment marked by addiction and trauma, and she's been open about the moment she had to save her mother from an overdose. These experiences clearly left their mark, prompting fans to question whether Demi's own struggles with addiction made her more vulnerable to the Hollywood scene she became a part of. When Demi married Ashton Kutcher, her battle with sobriety reached a critical point. After 2 decades of staying sober, she found herself feeling pressure to fit into Ashton's youthful, carefree lifestyle. In her memoir, she confessed that during a trip to Mexico, Ashton convinced her to let go of her sobriety. Demi's decisions have affected more than just herself. They've had a ripple effect on her family. Her daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, now have to navigate the fallout from their mother's lifestyle choices. If these allegations continue to grow, they could face another difficult chapter in their family's story. This scandal isn't just threatening Demi's career, it's also putting her family under more strain. Back in the day, Demi was known as Hollywood's wild child, famous for breaking the rules, partying hard, and living life on her own terms. But with these new allegations surfacing, her past decisions now seem much more troubling and problematic. While married to Ashton, Demi revealed they had an open relationship, allowing third parties into their marriage. She later regretted this decision, acknowledging how it blurred boundaries and created serious trust issues. Now, fans are left wondering, did this open approach extend into Diddy's circle? Did Demi unknowingly or knowingly get caught up in something far darker while living out her wild Hollywood lifestyle?
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either.
Ally Carter now claiming she allegedly witnessed Ashton and Demi doing some wild things at Diddy's parties. Demi and Ashton might want to hope their involvement never comes up during the trial. If it does, they could very well be next on the hot seat. As the situation continues to heat up, every new detail only adds fuel to the fire. The stakes are rising, and with each passing day, the pressure mounts for everyone involved. But in the meantime, let me know what you think about all this drama. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to check out this next video for more updates on the scandal.